I'd like to talk about Charles now. He was in high school with my oldest son, who was assistant pastor in this black church for 5 years after he graduated high school and college. Charles lived in the neighborhood, and he was sitting next to my oldest son in high school when he collapsed with a blood explosion on the brain. He had talked 2 weeks prior to this happening with Steve about healing. And I guess that was the way the Lord had of putting it on Charles' mind before this happened to him. But Steve came home and told me about it and asked me if I'd go to DePaul Hospital to pray for Charles, because he wasn't expected to live, and the parents had gone out and bought a cemetery lot for him. And Charles, when I went to the hospital, was in a sheet of ice because his temperature, they couldn't keep it down below 100. And in a coma for several weeks when I went to see him. 9 specialists gave Charles up to die. There was no way that Charles could live. Well, after several weeks of going day by day to see Charles and lay hands on him, I was sitting beside the bed one day, and a tear rolled down his face. I knew Charles would be healed, but I went every day for 9 months to see him. Finally, he went home, and he had worn a bed sore around the hip bone. The whole hip bone was exposed, and the mother had to swab it out every day with a cotton ball on the end of a pair of prongs or tweezers. And he told me that the doctor wanted to graft skin where the hip bone was because he was afraid of infection. And I told Charles to ask the doctor if he'd give him a month for that to heal up, and he did. He gave him another month on it. When I went back in a month, that was all healed in, all healed up, no surgery. And Charles is alive today. That must have been 30 years ago or so. And my son and I talk about that quite a bit. And what was the other one I was going to talk about?